I would now like to turn to Professor Van Stappen, who is a professor of aquaculture at the Artemia Reference Center in Ghent. He specializes in live food and laviculture. He has done a lot of work in Africa, projects here in Kenya, Mozambique, and Uganda. A lot of collaborative work we've done together. He's been a partner in research. He has been my tutor. So I would like to welcome him in a very special way to give us the talk on the work of Artemia activities in Libya. Karibu.
Asante, Betty, thank you for your warm welcome. Good afternoon, everybody. The audience will have understood that I'm not Libyan myself, but I will try to give a brief sketch of the Artemia activities in Libya. Well, when I'm going into history of Artemia study, I like to go back to a publication from our lab with Wim van Haken as first author, who did a very good job in compiling all information, literature information on the occurrence of Artemia in the world. So next, please, Patrick, animation. Yeah, and then you see that he reported 5 locations in Libya with the coordinates. You see that they are all located quite close to one another. Next, please, Patrick. And where did he get his information? Well, he has been going through literature from the 1960s and 1970s, and these were mainly literature sources, people reviewing invertebrate animals from aquatic ecosystems in the Sahara, in North Africa, so regional service. And these people happen to report, amongst others, the occurrence of Artemia in a number of these lakes. The location of all these lakes is there, you see, in the province of the territory, I should say, of Fezzan, in the blue circle. And on the right hand, you see a picture from Google Earth. Indeed, when you zoom in to that place, you can see scattered small lakes that still persist today, because this is always for these small Artemia sites with, let's say, long-term climatic changes. They may sometimes disappear as a site. And so the next slide, please. I take out 2 Lake Mandara, Lake Gabrun. I will come to the last one in a minute. They do exist because, again, I have been Googling around a little bit to take these pictures. And the left picture from Lake Mandara is from 2019. The other one it's not here, is also rather a recent picture. Well, you happen to find information on these lakes also on touristic sites, because the left one, for instance, came from a site, just advising for people who like to trek in the Sahara. So apparently these lakes still exist, and probably, yeah, there is still Artemia in there. So maybe it's interesting to give a little bit attention to Lake Gabrun, because, well, this was special in that sense. Yeah, next, please. That the local people living in the area of the lake, and this is still mentioned under in Wikipedia, for instance, you can see the text there, that they used to consume the Artemia from the lake. They harvest it from the lake. Well, in literature, it is not always called Artemia. Typically, it is referred to like worms or worm-like crustaceans. Apparently, according to the recent information on Wikipedia, the Bedouin tribes who used to live along the area have moved out of the place. So these local tribes seem to be not living there anymore, and probably not consume Artemia anymore. Okay, so far for these far inland Artemia sites. Then more recently, some study was done on Artemia from Abu Kamash, Sabha. And well, the previous speaker, Mohammed from Tunisia, also already mentioned a few times Sabha. Yeah, well, I searched to be sure for the definition. It is a coastal supratidal mudflat, so mudflat above the high tide line in a coastal area. And typically we see in many of these sapras that Artemia may occur, I mean, not just in Libya. So this sapra there is very close to the Tunisian border. Next, please. So here on the right picture, I zoomed in on Google Earth. You see that is a kind of peninsula that is, so that you have a bay. It was, well, I don't know, I couldn't find back where exactly this sapra is located. But okay, it is there at that area. Close to the city of Abu Kamash. And indeed, well, next slide. I must say this was the population that has been studied most in detail. Next, please. In the early 2000s, this was by a team of the Marine Biology Research Center in Tajura in Libya, that's not too far from the capital, on samples collected in 1998. And well, a few publications were made on the study of this Abu Kamash population. Typically, the characterization work of that time, biometric cyst characteristic, the hatching, growth, reproduction, etc. And well, important to say, this population was identified as Artemia salina. Well, the first author, Mohammed Al-Maksudi, was somebody who graduated as PhD a couple of years ago at our lab, albeit not on the study of Libyan Artemia, I should say. Well, next part, please. We got into contact, I mean our lab, got into contact with the people of this center in Tajura, as far as I remember, thanks to an FIO regional aquaculture project in the Mediterranean. And in 1994, so this was Patrick Soros and myself, we visited Tunisia, several sites, and also Libya. And it was mainly, or amongst others, thanks to this event that we got into contact with the people of this center. Also, maybe important to say, this Abu Kamash population was used as one of the type strains for Artemia salina, for instance, in other Artemia literature, just like, for instance, some populations from Tunisia, Sfax Negrin, that Mohammed Ramdan just explained about. As far as I know, no further work has been done on Artemia in Libya. Of course, everybody is free to correct me. Of course, Libya has been going through a very troublesome time. The last
you have 2 minutes. 2 minutes, please, Gilbert.
And yeah, okay. Well, actually, Eric, that concludes my talk on the history of Artemia activities in Libya. Thank you.